Trump, porque Trump va a volver a ser lo que era América antes. El que no le guste Trump, que se vaya para sus países. Yo soy cubana y si no me gustara, me iba. El que no le quiere estar en este país, aquí se viene a trabajar y a luchar. Aquí no se viene a vivir del gobierno, como están acostumbrados los demócratas, a darle welfare a todo el mundo para después recibir el voto. Está bueno ya. Trump va a hacer de este país el país que siempre hemos soñado, el número 1 en el mundo. Y viva Trump, y Trump va a ser el presidente. María Falcón.
Macaroni for bitch niggas, Trump gang, bitch. Trump gang, bitch.
Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Protesters followed Trump supporters to their cars as they left the convention center. Around the corner and away from police protection on San Carlos Street, a mob mentality took over.
You voted Trump! You voted Trump! Oh, yeah!
What do you say to the people who dragged a poor white guy out of a car and beat him?
Oh my goodness, poor white people, please, oh my, stop.
These were pure attacks. Trump supporters, men, women, even the elderly, left this building last night and walked right into danger.
Police say anti-Trump protesters sprayed 5 Trump supporters, including an 8 and 11-year-old girl outside Anaheim City Hall.
They're throwing things at the guy who has a Trump shirt on. Oh, he just got knocked in the back of the head. He just got punched in the face. And now they're rushing him.
We're saying if you're out there and you're trying to represent your First Amendment right to free speech, if somebody comes and attacks you, it's your right to defend yourself.
It got ugly. Violence erupting at the event as fights broke out, fists flying between Trump supporters and anti-Trump supporters. It gets pretty ugly.
Yeah, I want to warn the folks watching at home, you're about to see some very violent footage.
Organizers say today's rallies were meant as a show of unity against what they call a seditious fringe, allegedly trying to sabotage the president.
You can see there a FedEx delivery driver jumping in to try to put an end to the protest.
You don't like, get the out.
It's the strength in numbers. I'll give it to 8 lips. You want to come out, you better be 100 of you against 1 of me, because that's what it's going to take. Believe me, people like myself will stand up, and we'll be coming right back at you.
You say he's not your president, then you shouldn't be here.
Donald Trump is bringing us together. You got that? This is the heart of 1776.
Last week, we said that Trump's looking at a big purge, looking at Spicer, looking at a lot of other stuff, and now it's mainstream news today. Roger is almost a reluctant source, because I have my other sources. He's a public source. He doesn't like his sources to dry up, so I just try to bounce stuff off of him. But now he can obviously talk about more of his intel. What is currently happening? Because the word is the president is very angry and is about to make some major shifts in the way he's been governing so far. I know he's tried to be inclusive. He's tried to work with people. He's been very conciliatory, and it didn't look like that was taken as a sign of strength. Is that accurate, Roger? And just tell us where we are right now.
Let me say this. Donald Trump is not a man that you push into the corner. He is a fighter, and he will come back to you with everything he has. I think he said that the communications operation can't keep up with him. He is ahead of his own people, and that's a problem. He is not being well served by Sean Spicer and the entire communications shop, which needs to be more proactive. Right now, they're dealing with incoming every day, but they're not out there selling the president's line and the president's point of view and the president's program. They're not servicing local media, going around the networks to local affiliates, which would be amazingly popular and successful. You could go to Miami or Chicago, reach millions. Isn't being done. So I think that the search is on for a new communications head. I think generally speaking, people are pleased with Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She's done a credible job, and she's ideal for the #2 position. I think she's proven that under fire, Alex. But the wholesale communication shop, I think, is going to get a makeover. Meanwhile, the fight over Anthony Scaramucci continues. Scaramucci, a Trump loyalist, who the transition announced would be an assistant to the president, still remains in abeyance. His appointment frozen by Reince Priebus. His access to the Oval Office frozen by Reince Priebus on the pretext that the sale of Scaramucci's very successful company to a Chinese entity is somehow blocking his appointment. At the same time, I checked, Alex, the president's chief economic advisor, Gary Cohn, liberal Democrat from Goldman Sachs, still has Bank of China stock in his portfolio, stock that he said he sold weeks ago. So Scaramucci, a true believer, a real conservative, widely liked in the Trump movement, being blocked by Republican National Committee hacks like Reince Priebus.
So what we have is unjust weights and measures. We have selective enforcement we have Scaramucci playing by the rules, and then you've got Goldman Sachs boys in there who are allowed to do whatever they want, just like the globalists always are. You were on yesterday, and you were on fire, and if you could just repeat that, because you got interrupted by a break, and I was actually watching it last night and was frustrated by the fact that we had to go to break. You were getting into the fact that your quote was, they made a mistake dealing with Trump. If you can get back into that.
Well, I just think that across the board, the whole Comey thing has created a situation in which the president is unhappy with the beating he's taking from the mainstream media. He is unhappy with the response by his communications team. He very skillfully, as Mike Cernovich told us yesterday, was able to keep the Comey thing from leaking, which is a first in the Trump White House, because the staff put together by Reince Priebus leaks like a sieve. I think he's angry, and I think he knows that he needs better people to get the mission done. And I know that he is privately placing calls and talking to people. I have to wonder whether this is going to spill over into the FBI selection, Alex, because as I looked at that list this morning, I think it was up on Fox, there's not a Trump person there. These are all Washington insiders. There's nobody there who's loyal to Donald J. Trump and his mission, and that concerns me very greatly.
Yesterday, you made the point, they made a mistake. They pushed Trump too hard. And again, can you get back into...
I may have to go back and look at my exact quote because I was exhausted, but I need a little more frame of reference.
Well, you were just saying that he tried to work with people. They attacked him. They lied.
Yes, now I understand. Yeah, larger context. I think the president came into office, Alex, thinking that he would get the same honeymoon as other presidents, that the election was over, it was time to unite the country.
First 6 months.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton said something mildly conciliatory. So he met with Al Gore. He met with Al Sharpton. He indicated that he didn't favor the prosecution of Hillary Clinton. He thought that the country would come together as they have after other raucous political contests.
There wasn't a honeymoon. There was a war moon.
They moved on him immediately. And on every quarter, I think he is particularly angry that they have promulgated this Russian collusion nonsense, but they refuse to look into the crimes of Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and the Clinton Foundation and Chelsea Clinton. And he's sick of it. I think he is sick of it, and it's his government. I don't understand why the Republicans and the House and Senate Intelligence Committees are not more proactive into examining what we know to be the surveillance at Trump Tower. The Justice Department not active enough in looking into the surveillance at Trump Tower. So from the president's point of view, we're obsessed with Russia, but we're not looking at the surveillance of the Republican candidate for president of the United States. Yes, I think it really pisses him off, and it should.
Absolutely, and you know, in a wider area, you made the point is they made a mistake. They pushed him too far. Now he's on the warpath.
Yeah, I think all holes are barred. All holds are barred now. In other words, no holds are barred now. In other words, he tried to play patty cake with the establishment. He tried to bring them in and have national unity, and he's been spurned. Now he's got to scorch the earth. He's got to do what they did in the 70s. He controls the Justice Department. They are criminals. I think that that a Donald Trump in fighting mood is big problems for the political establishment and for the globalists.
That's right. And they use his honesty as if it's a weakness. He has the deputy head of the Justice Department and others come out and say, no, we recommend you fire Comey. The Democrats had all called for it as well. And he goes, yeah, I got that too, but I was already getting in the mode to do it because of just how weird he acts and all the things he does. He won't investigate the leaks and this made-up Russia thing. And they go, oh, my gosh, you just admitted to obstruction of justice. No, he's so honest. There is no Russia deal. He won't go after Hillary for all of her Russia stuff when it's all cut and dried. That's what Trump's saying. And then, of course, the last straw was from my sources, and it wasn't in the news until this weekend. We reported it last week. Was Trump was really upset over the fact that Comey sat there and said that he was crazy that Obama was surveilling him when it's admitted, and he talked to the House intelligence head, and Trump's the president. He already knows all that information, just can't release it because it's classified, and knows that they were surveilled. There's just not.
Republican voting bloc. And those are the numbers that they're looking at, and that the ones that are a little bit smarter, not less corrupt, just a little bit smarter, they won't join the impeachment bandwagon or anything like that. But make no mistake about it, Carlos Curbelo, from the very get-go, when he was here faking it out, and Paul Ryan was making fun of Donald Trump while drinking Cuban coffee for the first time in his wretched life. Well, no. Maybe for the second time.
That's what got us cut off the first time. The moment
exactly. Well, you know what? You know what? The hell with him and the hell with whoever cut me off. You know, those are computer tough guys. Those are computer tough guys. And I have something to tell you about that, okay? I wore a combat uniform. I wore a camouflage uniform, and I carried an M4 and an M16, and I carried a 45 caliber on the side of my body to defend everybody's right, even these libtard communist piece of shits. Okay, their right to speak all the poison that they do. I'll be damned if anybody's going to take away my rights that I defended. Because when you lay down at night and you lay yourself on that pillow and cover yourself with the blanket of freedom, I paid the price for your blanket of freedom. Okay, so I'll be damned if you're going to turn around and take that right away from me. Anyways, back to normality.
That's good. I gotta let him go when he gets a little passionate, just for my own personal safety.